All right, I'll make sure everyone gets comfy and gets all their stuff together. As you're coming in, just please grab all the goodies at the front. They have a fabulous package for you to get all your stuff started. Everyone. So how many people actually brought eyeshadow with them? Anybody? Okay, amazing. That's really powerful. For those who didn't raise your hand, okay. We do have 3 palettes that are going to be cut up. You're going to have to share. It's what we got. And you know, $5 for a class is kind of a steal. And thank you for being here, by the way. I know we're in a fucking recession and $5 is a lot. You can buy half of a Taco Bell order with that. So I appreciate you being here. Amazing. I think it'd be great if you guys are on that table, maybe if you don't mind sharing with this table. I hope everyone has their shots. We do have still a few more people coming in, and we'll start very shortly. I just want to make sure before I start, everyone's seated and we can get going. Of course. Also, this is a drag makeup class, if everyone was very confused on where the fuck they are. Okay. Also, I do curse. I'm the son of a sailor. It's just who I am. And then my name is Biqtch Pudding, so you know you were signing up for. Yeah. Yes. With the most presidents, so it makes no sense. She's also for lovers along with Ohio, so it's powerful. Can everyone see me? I know the lighting is overhead, but can you see my face? I know it's crooked, but all good things are. Nothing's supposed to be straight. I know, I'm not. Yes, snap it out. Yes. Do we have any more coming in, or is that about it? Can we get a round of applause for the people who are setting us up and got us everything together? Yay, we live, laugh, love. Well, welcome to the Maker's Room. I'm Biqtch Pudding. For those who don't know, I'm an Emmy-nominated makeup artist, and we're going to prove by the end of this class if I deserve that Emmy nomination or not. So always test yourself. I've been doing drag for about 13 plus years. I got started originally in Savannah, Georgia, and then one of my first paying gigs was actually at the former Hershey Bar in Norfolk, Virginia. And it's opened doors for me to the point where I worked on Guardians of the Galaxy for Marvel 2. Guardians of the Galaxy 2 for Marvel. Words are words and they're important. And I learned by being really bad. So if you leave today only taking a gram of information, understand that it takes practice. You're using utensils that you probably have never used before, or using products that you're unfamiliar with. And you don't need expensive products to look good. Hopefully I prove that by the end of this class. All right, without any further ado, we have a couple things in front of us. I have ADHD. I know we're with a lot of type A people here. Any type B people? There's few of us, but I'm you, okay? So I'm going to try my best so everyone's on the same page. So if anyone has any questions throughout all, if you just raise your hand high, I'll be happy to answer it. But listen to my steps as we go first. So the first thing about drag is blocking down your brows. You want to get more room on your eyebrow space. Today we have a loose powder that we're going to use. I'm going to show you on one eye what that I'm going to show you my first layer what that loose powder looks like. And then I'm going to actually use a different product we don't have available so you actually can see what I usually do on the daily basis. But the loose powder is what I get started on, and loose powder is also great because it works on every skin tone, especially translucent powder. So we're going to use an Elmer's glue stick. Anyone have an allergic to glue? If so, I'm so sorry, you're fucked. You can't continue the rest of the class. Okay. I usually clean off my eyebrow. Y'all eyebrows look clean, but I'm just gonna wipe mine. Wipe what off with? Oh. Yes, we do have a makeup wipe available for you. Do you just want to raise your hand and we'll get you a makeup wipe real quick? Anyone need to clean off their eyebrows? Sorry, we need a clean space. Also, you can take this class as your own risk. You do not have to block your brows and do this full eyebrow fantasy. You can just take the eyeshadow portion and apply it to your cosplay or your everyday life. This doesn't have to be the full experience. Take it as much as you want. Huh? Of course, sorry. Is this better if I'm talking really deep into it? Or is there a sound person that can turn the mic up a little bit for me? Is that better? Okay. I'm eating the microphone. I'll see if someone can turn up the audio. Oh. Hello? Is that better? Okay. So we're going to take that glue stick, raise the glue stick high. She's your friend. Okay. A lot of the times that people get really excited. Hello? Hello? People get really excited. And I like to, for a rule of thumb, for those who can't draw brows, I like to leave the little nuggets in the front out. That way you have a starting point, because they're always going to be cousins. If you're lucky on a good day, they're going to be sisters, okay? So I like to start on the... Oh, my God. Hello? 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 Oh my God, it unplugged. This is just improv at this point. Okay, that's better. So I like to start on the tail. And you also have these mirrors. So I'm using this as my mirror, but you do have mirrors on your thing. So let me show you what that looks like if you hold up a mirror. Because I have gotten ready on a plane before, and that's fucking crazy. So hold up the mirror like this so you can see yourself. And then it does help if you can blink with or wink with both eyes. But you start out doing little semicircles, okay? Like little baby semicircles. You don't want to go too far away from your eyebrow. You want to stay on the hairs, okay? You want to do the semicircles to go in and against the grain at the same time. You know, you want to build up that product. And the first layer, I will admit, it feels fucking weird. You're doing something you're never meant to do, which put horse hooves on your fucking eyes, all right? You don't want to do this. Unless you're into My Little Pony, which is a different panel. So you're working it in there, doing semicircles, and you don't want to cover your whole eyebrow. You don't. You want to leave that little nugget. Do you see I have this little nugget out? And the rest is kind of purple. I know it all looks gray on the Jumbotron, but do you see what I'm saying? Okay, great. So we're rolling over. And you kind of want to, once you get the product up, you want to take it from the middle and brush it out. Take it from the middle and brush it out to your hairline. Like this. Everyone watching? Okay. Now that we have a good chunk of layer on, you're going to find that magical thing called a spoolie. It looks like this. It's in your makeup drawer. You hardly use this thing, but this is your secret weapon for these laid out eyebrows. You're going to take it, and you're going to brush them up. Kind of like if you have applied a brow gel before. And you can be a little, don't be like super fierce, because it will break. It's plastic. We have more. Don't worry about it. But work that glue in and comb up. You want to comb it up like as if like you just applied, you're basically applying hair gel to your eyebrows right now. Okay? Hair gel. And you want to get the ends, and you want to comb them out too. And you kind of feel like you have nothing on your eyebrow. It looks like that, but there is actually a bunch of product, okay? Now, once you feel like you've gotten them brushed through and they kind of are, I'm sorry, unfortunately, straight, you know what I mean? You're going to take the other side of the spoolie, so this side, if you're looking at the Jumbotron, and you're going to go like this and brush up. And that's going to smooth everything out. So this eliminates a lot of texture. If you've done this technique before and people on YouTube be like, it's so easy, they probably skip this technique and you're like, that looks fucking weird. A spoon works too, but I just like this so I don't have to carry a spoon around. But if you're a spoon person, do that, okay? We're going to do both brows, but for the first layer, we like to do the one brow so we can focus, and then we're going to set it and go to the next brow. So I don't know if we have loose trend setting powder out available right now. Do we? We're passing it out now. Great. So I'm going to show you what you usually do, okay? But it's okay if this dries on its own. It's totally fine. But what you want to do if you're in a hurry is take some setting powder with this little sponge you're going to get. And you want to dab on the translucent, and it dries the product down. Will I be talking about color correcting? I can answer a question about color correction if you have one. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Got you. Okay. So let me do the other eyebrow, and then when I switch to my pressed powder foundation, that's going to be the thing that solves that, because I have really dark underpigment on my eyebrows. That was a question on color correction. So naturally, I'm really, really pale, and you want to know why I have this tumorish mustache on my face is because my undertone on my hair is really, really dark, and my mustache is really coarse. So after doing drag for like 10 years, shaving that and putting foundation on triggers me and my tism so fucking hard. So I just also like the mustache because it's queer, but it also makes it way more comfy. We have these fabulous trays coming out right now. So grab that little loose setting powder. While we're waiting for those to be passed out, you have that eyebrow drying. You can apply it if you get that powder, but I'm going to start on the other eye. We're going to do the other eye. I saw that hand raised. What's your question, darling? Oh, you need the powder? Okay. If you do have a question, just make sure you raise your hand super high so I can see it, if that's okay. All right, now we're going to go to the other eye, so I'm going to do the opposite eye. So if you did left or right and you have it switched, whatever you're doing. So we're going to do that same step. We're going to start in the tail. I'm looking in the monitor now so you can follow along a little easier. I know the last time I looked in the mirror, it was a little confusing. So look in your mirror. I'm doing the tail. I'm going halfway about to, not the top of my brow, not the end, but just leaving that little nugget free. And once you've kind of worked in the product a little bit, don't be afraid to brush it back. Because you're going to go through later with that spoolie. This step is just to make sure you get the product on the hair fibers. Am I still loud enough? I'm really trying to, I have to like talk really deep in the mic for you guys to hear, but I also have to like bounce around and do makeup, so I hope you guys can hear me well. So now I'm taking the spoolie and we're brushing it up. Just like you would comb your hair if you super glued it and want to look like Guile from Street Fighter. It's fine. Okay. Once that's combed through, we're going to take the opposite side of the spoolie and brush it up. So that, basically that cylinder rod, put the pressure down and just brush it up. If you have a spoolie makeup brush, you could use the other side of the makeup brush, because I know there's one like in our little kits. This one's like in our little kits. You can just have that permanently. I like these because they're small and they don't take too much space in my makeup case. Okay, now that I think everyone has loose setting powder, with that second eyebrow, take that loose setting powder, dab it in. I'd do the thicker side. So this, we have this wonderful shape. Take this thicker side. We love a thick bitch. And start on the tail and just go in. This is translucent. It doesn't have any pigment. If you do have a lot of melanin, it might show up a little ashy, but it should brush away, just a heads up. Okay. Now, in your brush kit, you should have a big, fluffy little baby, a little big, fluffy little nugget. You got it? We're going to take that and just brush it away. All right? The reason we powder our brows with translucent powder is it kind of lays everything and gives us another building block to build upon. But also, the translucent kind of helps the product dry faster. So if you're in a rush, because you have ADHD like me, it's a helpful tip. Now give yourself a moment. You did something you've never done before, and I'm proud of you. Okay, clap for yourself. You just did something you never done before. And we're going to repeat this step. I guarantee, I swear by doing it at least 3 times. If you have 4 times, power to you. But 3 should get you there, okay? And I have very coarse German eyebrows, so this should help. What's your question? Yeah, so I'm gonna walk you through each step. I'm not gonna leave it up to you. We're gonna do it. So we did that first step. I like to let the first step dry a little bit, so that's why I'm taking some time before I go in with another layer. This glue is really great. It washes off. That's why I like it. It also dries clear, and you know it's clear because it's the disappearing purple. Also, it's easy to find. You can find it at any kind of CVS or any kind of store, even Ross, which is nice. All right, now I'm going to go in on the first brow you did, okay? That very first brow, we're going to go in with another layer of glue. And you're going to do the same process, except you're not going to do the semicircles this time. We've already built in a big amount of product. Now we're going to try to flatten in this next step. So flattening, you're just going to put it on. Sorry, I'm really trying to talk in the mic so you guys can hear me. And brush up and out. Like, don't go against the grain this time. Go with the grain of the natural flow of your eyebrows. You kind of want... This is like glazing a cake at this point, if that makes sense. If you had one, that'd be great. Well, I don't know. As long as they can hear me, that's cool. Yeah, no, okay, kinda. Okay, we're making it work, y'all. We got this. Also, there's been so many workshops throughout MAGFest. It's been a highlight of the festival for me, walking through and seeing like people make dice bags in this room or like learning how to fucking sew skirts and shit. I think that's such a fucking amazing thing, and I think more cons should do it. So I really feel like the fact you could actually craft and learn things at MAGFest, which is really awesome. So thank you, MAGFest, for having me and doing this. Of course. Yes, that's your question. Yeah, you want to kind of, so a good tip with this is here, I'll show you right now actually. Let's just say I accidentally did that and I went really far above my eyebrow and you feel that texture and it looks weird. It's water soluble. So usually I'm at the sink when I'm doing this because I'm looking at the bathroom mirror, but since we're here and you know your own germs, you're going to lick your finger. And you're going to take it against your skin and don't go over the eyebrow, but go above it and just wipe away that texture. And once you get it wet, go with a dry finger and wipe away the rest of the texture, and it should be gone. Do you see what I'm saying? Because it kind of melted, right? Okay, while that side is wet, not the wipe away, but the glue you just put on your brow, you're going to repeat the process of putting the powder on. So you're going to go with that big block and do that. You don't need to do the brush step at all for now, because that was the spoolie is only for the very first layer, because that kind of gets you the bulk of the product on, gets it combed through and raked through, and you smooth it out with that other end. Now we're just complementing that smooth portion by just going on top with layers of glue and powder. The spoolie helps with the flattening and the combing through, helps with quote unquote the oatmeal effect. When you very first try this product or try doing this technique, you do end up looking like oatmeal. So even if you don't, if you experience that today, you're doing something you probably have never done before. So give yourself grace. If I look like a master at this, I have been doing it for 13 years. So don't compare to Super Saiyan level 3 Goku when you are Pam. I love Pam, and I prefer Pam because we need more women in DBZ, and I don't fucking understand why there isn't more women in DBZ, but that's just me. Shout out to Android 18. Okay. Now we're going to do the other eyebrow with the glue. I did this one, so we're going to do this one. I couldn't find my mirror. Is this helpful so far? Okay. Of course, yeah, no worries. And if you notice, for me, sometimes I have long hair. Some of my long hair divas, if you do feel the hair is in your eyebrow, just lightly pull. It'll pop out. This is not super glue. It will go away at the end of the night. This will come off with like soap and water. Yeah, we're still leaving the nub. So if you covered the nub, don't worry about it. But if you have a nub, that's what we need. But if you want to cover your nub so you can be eyebrowless or do whatever the hell you want, go for it. Okay, so we've done 2 layers now because I'm going to powder this one. And now that we have done 2 layers, you're going to repeat the next layer with this translucent product, but I want to show you what I do to color block or get rid of the pigment underneath my brow. So what I use is had to find the right color. What I use is MAC Studio Fix Pressed Powder Foundation. You can use a Revlon foundation. This is a pressed powder foundation. I know people have forgotten this exists, and you probably walk by the store. You're like, why the fuck should I use this? It's actually really good for the no makeup look. It's honestly, if you find a shade that works for you, that's really great. But for brow coverage, it's really, really, really beneficial. And I know we have given out some powder puffs like this. You can use that for this process as well, other than the sponge. I usually use a powder puff like this. You probably have seen powder puffs like this, right? So we're gonna repeat that process. You're gonna do this same process with the glue stick and the translucent powder, okay? So I'm gonna do we just did one side, we're gonna do the other side. And this is your last layers of glue, okay? I think pressed powder foundations are universally, so I just got asked if the pressed powder foundation is more or less coverage. They're usually, it's like coverage, you're putting on stuff. They have them at Revlon. You can get this at the dollar store. I wouldn't trust I don't know what's in the dollar store one, but if you just want to try it and you're on a budget, babe, Trixie Mattel has done it, you can do it too, okay? So you can get it the dollar store one. You just need a pressed powder foundation. And honestly, you're doing drag and you're going to cover it anyway. It doesn't necessarily, just try it close as you can to your skin tone. Sometimes the variety at the drugstore is not as sickening as it would be. So now we're going to do this last layer of glue, do the same thing. You're just brushing over, you're glazing the cake, okay? You're being firm, but you're not trying to unroot all those beautiful layers you just did. Now take a look at that tail. You've been focusing on the front up here, but that tail sometimes gets missed, and just make sure you gloss over all the parts of that tail. all those little nuggets that you like can't really see. You go, oh, that just spilled a bunch, okay? Okay. You're doing great. Now you're gonna take that sponge and the translucent powder, but I'm gonna show you what I do with this pressed powder foundation. So I just press down on like this, and I dab over top, and this is gonna literally melt in with my skin. I learned this technique from Pearl. She is not the best drag queen to follow. She had a little ooh-ooh, but I feel like forgiveness is needed, and education's important, and you grow every time you make a mistake. But I noticed Pearl one time using pressed powder foundation, and I was like, oh, I'll try it. And bitch, it's been my fucking staple ever since, and I don't have any texture with my eyebrows. Beforehand, I was using translucent, and it was pretty good, but the pressed powder foundation was something that I found for me is like something so easy, and then I don't have to go over with pigment later. Now, we're gonna go over pigment with you guys. We do have foundations we're gonna give you, and you're gonna go layer, and we're gonna blend it out. So once you did one side, we're gonna do the other side one more time. We did powder. So that pressed powder foundation is where you're going to do your powder. So it's the only step that's different. I'm just using a different product just because I wanted to show you all. If you wanted to know what I actually use, I use this. But that translucent powder does, I mean, you guys look great. Like, your brow is covered. You look amazing. Every step. So I just replace, usually I replace the pressed powder foundation with the translucent, but I'm showing you, and it's also an easier product to share instead of getting like 50 shade matches for pressed powder foundation, which would be super expensive. It's just, I'm just showing you different ways to do it. So you can use the translucent powder, and honestly, it's great if you're doing makeup on a friend and you don't have their foundation shade. Translucent powder is in your bag, and it works, it's universal, it works for everybody. So how everyone's feeling about their 3 layers? You feeling good? You need a 4th? Then go ahead and do a 4th. No worries. Sometimes it does take 4 layers. For me, I feel good about 3. And I'm saying y'all look better than I did when I first did drag. I will post it on my story after this. And if anyone came to the panel I did on Friday, you saw what I looked like, and it was bad. You're going to look better than I did then. At least I hope so. And if not, are you having fun? Yeah. Who knew you could have fun putting glue on your face? That's so nice. That's so powerful. For you and me. How many of y'all have drawn on eyebrows before? Powerful. How many have you never even drawn on eyebrows before? Okay. I'm going to show you, I usually use a lighter shade. We're going to use black eyeliner. This is going to be it's going to look very fierce and very intense. Hey, guess what? We don't have any foundation on. So if you make a mistake, you can casually wipe. What we're going to do is really focus on making a top shape. And if you fuck up the tail, guess what? We're going to cut the bottom of it. So the bottom part will be erased, and we're going to go over top our eyebrow physically. So our drawn eyebrow will go like this. And let's say I fuck up my tail and it doesn't match this side. I'm able to clean that up underneath. Does that make sense? And if it doesn't, I'm going to walk you through it, and that might click in a second. So start on the side that isn't your strong suit. So if you're right-handed, try your left side. Okay? But not to switch hands, just start on your left eyebrow. Does that make sense? Okay. Why am I holding up my phone like I'm taking a selfie? I'm crazy. So we left that nugget out for a reason. We're going to I want you to practice on your hand real quick, like you're writing, and just do a couple flicks. Oh, not that. those couple little like little triggers. We're drawing little hairs. Okay. All right, we do have 10 minutes, so we're not getting through the whole class. So at least we'll get to the brow. I know, but hey, I have a fabulous YouTube tutorials. I also stream on Twitch pretty regularly. I'm going to be continuing streaming on Twitch and getting ready each and every Friday night on twitch.tv/Biqtch. So we're drawing little lines here. That's so nice, isn't it? So we're just drawing little things. We're just going over top of our natural brow, where that little nugget we left out. You see how we just went on top of that little nugget and I have this intense little dot? Does that make sense? Like right here, we just went over it. Now, I'm going to put a dot here, like about right here. So where your nose and your eye is, to the corner of your forehead, you see how there's like like an invisible line? We put a little dot at the top. So where your eye is, if you go straight up, so look at your eye and go straight, don't draw it, but go straight up, and you can go right above your above that covered brow and put a little dot. Is that cool? Okay. And then do another dot where you want the end to be. So I'm putting mine right there. You can put yours up here. You can do a little baby eyebrow. You don't have to do anything. You can do whatever kind of shape you want. But this is called the dot technique. So now I'm going to use that as a connect the dots moment. So we're going to go from here. I'm going to start the bottom. You see this bottom part? I'm taking it and the brow is shaped like this. So I'm going to take the bottom. I'm going to connect this point to this point. And you're going to go low and slow. And if you don't hit it, just there. So we're taking it, this bottom point and connecting it to this dot. And give yourself time. You don't have to rush it if you've never done it before. Or if you just want to go across your regular eyebrow and just give a more intense look, you can do that too. Okay? Now you see this point, we're going to slowly grab from this to that. And look. It's so fun. Oh, you're going to look evil. I'm an evil bitch. You know what I mean? So now you're going to take this top part. Okay. So how much more time do we have? Sorry, we're troubleshooting. And can we make some noise? MAGFest has been running this show so smoothly over the weekend. And there's a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of things happening. So I just want to make sure I'm trying to teach you guys on the amount. So how much time do we got? Okay. We have 30 more minutes, which is powerful. So don't feel rushed, okay? So at least, if I don't get to eyeshadow, at least you learned how to cover your brows and draw on new ones, which I think is the hardest thing about drag makeup, is the covering of the eyebrows. Does that feel good? Okay. This looks super scary. Look, I look fucking weird. You know what I mean? You saw me yesterday, I was pretty. Yes. I took a shower. I don't know what happened. All right. So we're starting. Thank you. I appreciate it. So we're right here. You see this top part? Now we're going to connect this to this. Okay? Not the, you're just doing a straight line. We're going to the same dot. So you're just connecting that top part with the dot. So it looks like, now I look like I have a coloring book eyebrow. Does that make sense? Okay. And whatever shape you're going for, go it. You don't have to do this exact shape. I'm just showing you how I usually kind of do mine. If you want to look like Heihachi Mishima, go for it, bitch. You can look like an evil villain from Tekken. You can look like Majin Buu, whatever you want to give, all right? So now you have like this hole, and you're just going to color it in. And if you're looking at the bottom and you're like, that's wonky as squirrel shit, don't worry. We have foundations for you. I think we have 3 of them, right? Those 3 little colors. Yes, okay. We have 3 little colors for you. We're gonna go around and give each person a dab of that color, and we're gonna cut underneath. So you're gonna take so we're gonna go around with those foundations. I think we can go to each person and just figure out which color would be best for them. That's cool. If you brought your own foundation, great. The product I use and I highly swear by, and it's like I think $20, maybe 15. You can use a white, clown white. You can use a Mayron paint stick to cut this part, because all you need to do is take a cream and cut it underneath and then line everything up. I'm actually unhappy with the tail. She looks like she's going down south. And with drag, what you usually want is to lift it up and out. That's perfect, yeah. And it also just depends on the person's shade and tone. So if they're more warm than that, then the cool. So see how I didn't like my original tail and then I drew that one? When you get the foundation, you're gonna cut the under part. I'm gonna use this product instead. This product is Danessa Myrex, Danessa Myrex Beauty. This is a white pigment that dries matte. So it's kind of like a permanent marker in a way, and the white is really opaque. It's going to cover anything, and it's just going to give you that even underneath tone. So you're going to use that foundation. So they're passing out foundation for you. Yeah, so you're just going to use that foundation that is being sprayed out and doing that. Does anyone have any questions about anything while we're passing out foundation? Anyone have any questions up until this point? It could be the most dumbest minute. I'm here to answer any questions you have. You paid for this class. Yes, what's your question? No, you can use a pencil. I'm just using the stuff that we have. There is a pencil right here. You could use a pencil. You can use a brush to draw the brow. However you want to draw the brow with your own products and how you feel comfortable using them. I don't usually use a liquid black eyeliner pen. What I usually use is still a pen like this, but it's designed specifically for brows, and it's a lot less intense in color. It's the NYX Lift and Snatch eyebrow pens. You can find this at your drugstore. I really love these, even on going over my mustache and just kind of making it more full and match the rest of my makeup. Yeah, go for it. Yes, you can cut into that if you have like your foundation later or concealer. If you're used to using concealer, you can cut the top part of that too. Also, if you have nothing, because we don't have anything on our face, I have foundation on because I was trying to get in full drag for this. You can lick your finger and just wipe it away. And then you can just redraw the brow if you need to, if that's helpful. That's why I like doing the eyes first, because the eyebrows for me are the thing I struggled with the most. And that way, if you mess up, you can just wipe it or take a baby wipe. Or if you're at the makeup, like if you're at the bathroom, just wet a paper towel and just wipe it away. Yeah. So when everyone gets the foundation, I'm going to walk it through which brush. So just if you have foundation, just hold on for a second. Yeah, so I'll do the other eyebrows so we can walk through the other side. I can do the brow first, and then we'll cut both of them. Does that help? So we're going to do the other eyebrow while we're waiting for the foundation to be passed around. So we're going to walk through the eyebrow again. I start out by just feathering, but the feathering effect is just to mimic our brow in the shade we're drawing. So my eyebrows are brown. This is pitch black. So I want to just kind of go over and do that. So all I'm going to do is feather the beginning just so it looks a bit more natural. Because what we're drawing on is like kind of a screen print colored, like cartoon-ass brow. But if we feather the front and just go over our natural hairs that we have left out, it gets us a starting point that matches this side, which is one of the hardest parts about drawing eyebrows. But it also gives us a little texture, so when we draw the rest, it looks a bit more natural. And I don't know why we're doing natural, because we're doing drag, but you know what I mean. Organic, there you go. I was like, I'm like gluing eyebrows and being crazy. There's nothing natural about this look, honey, but here we are. Yeah. Wait, they're drawing it down. Which part? Uh-huh. It doesn't matter. You're flicking, or you're doing a little flick. Like you're going like this. It's kind of like making happy trees with Bob Ross. That's basically what you're doing with a finer brush. So now you're going to do the dot technique, but instead of putting them randomly, that top dot, you're going to go across here. You see, you're going to kind of match the peak of this one with this side. Does that make sense? So your eyes here, you're going to go up, and you're going to look at both eyebrows, or both sides, and see, I think right here works for me. Once again, if they're not even, that's okay, because guess what? A lot of cosplays use bangs. But what we're really getting is a lot more real estate to do fun things with like makeup underneath the eye, on our lid, and going up and exaggerating the shapes of our face and giving us more real estate to play with. So yes, you might have bangs, but they get the gist of our eyebrows being completely different and changing. Now you can draw little baby eyebrows and be a little cute character. You don't have to look like Heihachi Mishima. And if you don't know who that is, I highly suggest looking it up because he has the hottest eyebrows ever to exist. He looks mad. So I think that's the same side. And then I'm going to do the tail too. I need more room than that little microphone, so I'm going to use my phone. Yeah, it's kind of like geometry. So now you're going to take that bottom part. Sorry, I have to eat the microphone and do this. So I know on camera. I also want you all to be able to see. So on camera, you're going to connect this part with that. The bottom part, you're just drawing a line. And then you're going to connect this part with the tail. And I personally prefer a pen just because I know you can build it up on an angle brush if you want, but I know for consistency and just going at it, it's easier to get lines with this. This is my own technique with drawing on eyebrows, but you can use, as I said before, you can use whatever you feel comfortable. If it's a pencil that you like using, go for it. And now we're taking the top part, so this part right here, and just connecting it up there. Just like we did the other side. And if you look like a Disney villain, great. And you're like, that's really intense. And you're right, we're doing drag. Divine is the blueprint, okay? And John Waters grew up down the street with Divine, so we're in the right space. And I'm just taking time now to line mine up. Now, the most important part is the top, because we're going to cut the bottom. Now, this is black, so I'm going to try to lick my finger. Well, she ain't going anywhere, so I lied. Now you're going to take that foundation. So the brush that we're going to use for the foundation is this brush. It's a flat brush. I have the white set. I know there's 2 different sets, so let me go check the pink set really quickly. So use the shorter bristles. I have this one, we're going to use that. You're going to use the foundation. I'm using this white product, so wherever I put the white is we're going to put the foundation. Now, the only 2 differences about this product and the product you're using is the product you're using, you're going to have to set with the translucent powder because it's a liquid. This is a cream that dries without being set. So that foundation, I know it doesn't, we have 50 people here, I think. I know it's not going to match every person. And I think if you're looking for a foundation, I highly suggest MAC foundation. If you ever go to a MAC counter, they're able to color match you really well. If you go to Sephora and ask any of the lovely people there, they'll probably hook you up with a Fenty or even their own home brand if you're looking for a foundation for this moment. But whatever we got is in front of us, so we're going to use that. You could use a Mayron stick, yes. What? For the Mayron, you're going to have to set it because it's a cream. So for this, you're going to, so how I'm putting, I should have explained how to put the product on. I'm so sorry. So I have it on the back of my hand just so I can look. Don't worry about doing that because you have it on the plate and we have a little bit of product on the plate. So you're going to build it up on the plate, take that flat brush, okay, and dip it into the foundation and just, work that product on there, okay? How many of y'all painted before? Like, even if it was like 3 years old? Okay, so when you got a big glump of paint and you go brush, it looks crazy. But if you kind of work it into the plate and build it on the brush, and by working it in, you're doing this. This is white on white. That's not helpful for you. I'm so sorry. So, like this, you're building the product up. Okay? So that way it's on the brush, but it's not like saturated. And on the side that you've done that to, you're now going to take it and you're going to cut underneath the brow. So don't go over the black. Unless it's this shit tail that I drew, I'm going to cover that. But I'm just going to go underneath here. Can you see on the camera? I'm trying to do this. Okay. And if you botch this up, it's okay. We can go over it again with that black. But what we're trying to do is cover that brow. That translucent powder that we went over your real brow. This is going to cover it. Then when we get up to the tail, you're gonna probably have to go back in and get more product. Just build it back up on the brush. And you have a flat, I'm so sorry. We have a flat brush like this, so we're able to actually get up on the line and go over it. This is very 2016. How far down? If you like doing eyeshadow and having a base, you can bring it all the way down to your lid if you want. For me, I like using I don't prime my eyes because I'm crazy. If you want to prime your eyes for eyeshadow, great. Especially if you have a deeper melanated skin and you want to put like a vibrant, hot, like neon blue, that's going to help like it show up more. But if you want to, to answer your question, you just want to go over the brow itself. You don't want to go all the way down to the lid. So I'm just working it on. And just making the shape and carving out the shape that I want underneath, because we already did it out on the top. Does anyone have any questions for this part right here? That looks good. You covered that. That looks amazing. What? Anyone had a question? I couldn't hear you. I'm sorry. Of course. Yeah, you're doing it right. You see how you see how the other side looks ghostly white and you can kind of see a brow underneath, but now on the other side it looks like you have a blank canvas. Now that side that you just did and put that color underneath is wet. So we're gonna have to go back with our trusty sponge and that translucent powder and go over top what we just did. And that's setting it. Try not to go over your brow with that. You can if it's hard. I know I'm talking about multiple things. I probably should have labeled over the drawn brow. Try not to go over it. But if you do, that's totally fine. What we're doing right now is setting that liquid foundation. So that way that motherfucker won't budge. Once it's dry, once you've taken that powder and gone over it, you're going to take that big fluffy brush we used to brush away it before, and we're going to brush that powder away. And there, you have done a drag eyebrow on one of them. Of course. Now we're going to cut the other side. Yeah, go for it. Yeah, on top. Yeah, of course. And let's just say you got a little foundation on the brow itself, and then you set it, and now you can go over top this with that same product. Yeah, for sure. Do it. And if you look at angry, you did learn how to do your brows by Biqtch pudding, so it looks accurate. Yeah. Also, once again, what I at least want you to walk away from this class is learning how to use the gluing process to cover the brow. Later on, you're going to learn if over repetition and using these utensils more to draw on things, you're going to get a better brow shape. You also can experiment with the brow shape. Maybe your brow shape is a square or a circle, or draw on the most hairy caterpillars you've ever seen. It can be whatever brow shape you want to be, because cosplay is whatever you want to make it. And so is drag. So I'm going to do the same thing I did on this side on the other side. And the good thing is, you all paid for the products. So you get to take these products home with you, which is really nice. And if you want to test these out while I'm streaming on Twitch, I would happily answer any questions you have too. If you ever hit me up and be like, bitch, I don't know what to do. Also, if you're looking for this tutorial, I have it up on my YouTube channel called Drag 101. It's under Biqtch Pudding, BIQTCHPUDDIN. And on that channel, too, I have an eyeshadow tutorial and even a wig gluing tutorial, which maybe I'll do next year on how to glue a wig down, because wigs can be scary. But I will tell you this. I do love a bang. Bangs are really nice. I know everyone's into the lace fronts, but a hard front is really powerful. And see, I accidentally covered my brow here. I'm going to go over top of it. Actually, you know what? I lied. I'm making this one skinnier. Anyone have any questions? Has this been helpful? Okay. I know drag can be really intimidating because breaking into the drag scene was really hard, ass backwards, and really cutthroat. And I honestly did it for a charity show, not knowing that 13 years later I'd be doing a panel at the Gaylord Hotel in Maryland. So whatever you like to do, if it brings you joy, whether it be covering your eyebrows or lip syncing songs you get off to in the shower, chase those dreams, because you never know. It might end you up working on a Marvel film. It might end you up doing a panel. It might end up making the best friends you've ever made in your life with drag. So I don't know. Drag is really fun. So don't let the makeup intimidate you, because everyone looks awful their very first time. If you look amazing, great. I just want to make sure. For me, I'm always got that inner saboteur that's like, Link has shadow Link. My shadow bitch fucks me up all the time. So that's just, I'm only voicing that if your shadow inner self, because 2025 was rough, and this is the best way to start 2026 is with MAGFest. I just have to say that. If you're struggling or you're like, I don't know, I don't look like that or this like that, I'm just trying to give you words of encouragement and understanding that give yourself time, give yourself patience. We are gluing stuff on our faces. Yeah. Oh my God, it was the very first drag show you ever saw last night? Oh, that's amazing. I love that. I love that. That's amazing. I haven't. I'm doing a different character tonight. I'm doing Chun-Li tonight. And she'll have very dark, evil eyebrows. I don't know how we're doing on time. Okay, we have 10 minutes. I really wanted to get into eyeshadow, but due to the eyeshadow being not as prevalent, we have a couple palettes, so I can walk you through that. But I'd rather answer any questions you might have, and I think the brow covering tutorial is probably the hardest thing about drag. So is there any questions about the brow covering tutorial? Yeah, go for it. Okay. This is also open to any other questions if you want to ask or bully me. Now is the time. Yeah, eyeliner. So dragifying eyeliner. So eyeliner is a unique thing. I actually never usually draw eyeliner out. What I do is I kind of do a cut crease, like a classic cut crease, and I glue my eyelashes, how I glue them down. I start here, and I go out to here, and then I color underneath it. So when it comes to eyeliner, I would try to find a drag art. If you want to specifically do drag, I would try to find a drag artist that has a similar eye shape to you. Now, the girls don't do as many tutorials as they used to, but there's a bunch online. Miss Fame, Violet, Mick, they all have eye shadow tutorials. But when it comes to liner, I would just watch someone who has a similar shape to you. For instance, what helped me with my nose contour was Detox is a similar nose. My nose is the smallest right here, widest right here, in the middle right here. It's a weird diamond shape. We all have fun noses. But I noticed that Detox had a nose like mine. And all she does with her contour is she takes a big brush and just goes like this. She doesn't bother with carving it and making it like that. And then when I started doing that, I really liked my nose. Beforehand, I didn't understand people who were like highlighting and doing all this contour with it. And I was like, that works for them. Why is it not working for me? And that helped me was finding someone with a similar shape. So I'm not sure what kind of eye shape you have. There's hooded eyes, there's monolids, but trying to find someone who has a shape that's similar to you and then watching a tutorial on that will be very helpful for you. Of course. Any other questions we might have? Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, you can go over the another layers. So this foundation's a little, it's accessible. It's an easy foundation to grab. But what's typically used for drag makeup is either a Mayron or a Krylon stick. It's a waxy stick. It's for theater makeup, and it's very opaque. I use white. You can use clown white in the same way. But if it's a more, let's just say this is the only foundation you have on you, you can just layer it up. And what you're going to do is add a layer and then powder it again. And then you should like the opaqueness of it. Of course. Now, if you don't want to walk around the rest of the con with this, trust and believe you can wash this off. But I'm really impressed. Y'all look fucking cool. I'm just going to say that. Like, I wish my brows looked that good. Any other questions? Do you have a question? It could be the simplest thing. Like, I don't know how to blink. I see you, Team Rocket. How's Team Rocket doing over there? Okay, yes. Yeah, go ahead. 30-second explanation for contouring. I'm going to give it to you right here. So for contouring, you're going to want to use a cooler shade. So this is just eyeshadows, but there's this cool brown tone in here that I like to dip in, especially if I'm going to be a plagued, ugly girl. And you're going to start from your cheek and go down to here. You don't want to go all the way to your actual cheek. You're going to go for the hairline to the midway. You're going to do the same thing on the other side. And then I'm going to do my jaw because I'm a man. Women are people who want to look more masculine. You can carve your, if you want to look more feminine, you go to here. If you want to look more masculine, you're going to do the same thing, but take it down. That's going to elongate your jaw and give you that chiseled, like, look like a JoJo character, okay? Then up here, you're going to go in like this. If you want to do masculine, you kind of carve up. You don't want to round the face. So don't do this top part. For masculine, you want to go here and up and kind of give yourself that jagged line. Was that helpful? Okay. Yeah. Of course, I'm down to take pictures with people. I just want to make sure they have time to turn this over, and we can take pictures with our brows, I promise. Oh, the perfume I was wearing last night was Paco Rabanne Lady Million. You can get that on a retailer online. Yeah, it's kind of hard to find it in person because their male fragrance popped off. I used to work the fragrance counter at Macy's, but that one you can find at the airport if you want, but online for sure. I would get a travel size. That way you know if it smells good on you. Or even a tester if you can find one online, or also find a dupe. It might be a little expensive, but yeah. What's your question? Yeah. Right. So, do you have hooded eyes? I can't tell because I'm pretty far. Okay. Okay, that's very unique. And your eyes are gorgeous, and I'm glad you have them. What's super helpful for hooded eyes, I learned from Violet Chachki, is that she will draw a little dot right here, open her eye, and then when her eye open, it'll actually hit the top part. So that's where you're going to connect. Okay? And I wouldn't worry about matching here. I would just try to match that area, like, be messy on the bottom, open up, and it should dot on the top, and you can kind of do the same thing we did where you color it in. And then with the other side, since it doesn't match, you would just do the same thing and just kind of figure it out. But that's just going to be a learning curve you're going to have to do if they don't match either side. Was that helpful? I hope it was. Okay. Yeah. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Yeah. To drawing on eyebrows? Yeah, so my main thing that I actually use is NYX's Lift and Snatch. They have some colors. They have honestly, their full shade range online you might be able to find a lot easier because I don't know everything has, but they have some blonde ones that could read as a light green. And then you could just deepen the ends. It's also, they're very light and they're good to have just to go over your natural brow if you want to deepen it as well. Yeah, of course. Any other questions, y'all? And by the way, you paid for utensils, so you get to keep those and take those home with you. So you get a new eyeliner, you get that glue stick that you're going to make fan art of, and live, laugh, love that. I'm sorry we didn't have the full time to do the full eye, but I hope you feel satisfied with just learning how to cover brows, which I think is the biggest hump that people have to get over. Yeah, of course. Was there a foundation shade for you in the back? I hope there was something you could have worked with. Did you have, was there a shade for you above the cut, the crease? It was good? Okay, thank you. Of course. Yes, God, come through. And those little eyeshadow brushes, you can do a lot with those. Yeah. And once again, it's never about the expensiveness of a product. If it goes on your face, it's fine. Of course. I hope you all had a good time, and I'm down to take pictures with people. I just want to be cognizant of their turnover because I know we made a huge sloppy mess. But thank you all so much. I appreciate it. This is the beginning of my look tonight. I'm going to go upstairs and finish before clocking in to the drag showcase in an hour. So.